Hey guys, welcome to my channel, Chelsea in my opinion. The news reaching us this morning, as early as this morning, is that Mykhailo Mudryk has been banned. I won't say banned, but has been charged by the FA. Remember, sometime in November, he was provisionally suspended and he was unable to participate in any activity at all with Chelsea, even regarding the training and attending games and attending training sections, although I'm aware that he has been training by himself. Even during the last Conference League, we realized that Mudryk did not travel, even though he was around near the stadium or in the stadium, but he was never with the team. I know a lot of people were trying to raise some dust about that, but today the news is that he has been charged officially. And being charged is that now there seems to be a case for him to answer. And from beginning, from inception, we know Mudryk has denied any knowledge of knowingly using the banned substance Meldonium. Meldonium, that is the name of the substance that he was tested, he tested positive. Remember that I was talking with a friend, or I was chatting in a group, and a friend of mine was sharing some crazy stories like, oh, this is what you see, what you get because of the greed of Chelsea. And it's just, but what is wrong with you? Why are you talking about greed of Chelsea and greed of agent? Do you even realize that he tested positive of this Meldonium while he was on international duty? Do you even know the story surrounding it? Because Chelsea bought Mudryk out of the hands of Arsenal, and this is an Arsenal fan. Because Chelsea took Mudryk from the jaws of Arsenal, you're making up stories about greed? What is wrong with you? So I mentioned, do you even remember stories like even Adrian Mutu? Remember, Adrian Mutu was another Chelsea player that was tested positive of cocaine, and his contract was terminated by Chelsea. So I don't get it why people are trying to tie Chelsea to Mykhailo Mudryk's issue. But one thing I understand is that the player has denied knowingly using Meldonium. Now, and if he is found guilty, I know definitely Mudryk is going to appeal. Definitely going to appeal. And that is going to take some time. And I'm aware he's using the same lawyers that defended Paul Pogba. So Pogba's ban was reduced. And if Mudryk is lucky, he has served more than 6 months. Yes. About 7 months. He has already served 7 months, and I believe that 7 months will be part of his appeal. So he's not going to serve more than 4 months ban as announced. I'm very confident of that. Irrespective of the outcome, he's not going to serve 4 years. So he is going with the lawyers that defended Pogba. So hopefully the lawyers are a second time lucky. But I want to throw something in, like I will say, is it like a spanner or a spoke in the wheel, or what is Meldonium? In truth, what is Meldonium? The name Meldonium goes by the trade name Meldronates. It's a metabolic modulator synthesized in Lavia in the 70s, by someone called Ivers Calvins, So, but Meldonium as a metabolic modulators are substance or a variety of substance that modify the effects of hormones, either by blocking or stimulating receptors, or by boosting or inhibiting specific enzymes. So they tend to activate or block, enzymes or hormones. So probably they are like enhancers. So, and I don't know if a lot of people are aware. Do you know that metformin, that is used to treat diabetes is also a metabolic modulator. And there are reports too that even though it's kind of here and there, that it has a way to also enhance performance. There are, although some people will want to say the tests have returned inconclusive, but in truth, what is meldonium? Meldonium is a metabolic modulator, and has been in existence, or I don't know if I would say was discovered in the 1970s in Latvia, synthesized in Latvia. Now, you want to ask, why did Mudryk take this substance? In a number of Eastern European countries, meldonium is not banned. Meldonium is not banned in a number. I remember there was a time Maria Sharapova was suspended for taking this thing, because in most of the countries they allow it, especially in Russia. In Russia, for one, I will talk about Viagra very shortly. Very shortly. But the primary use of meldonium is for angina, which is like an ischemic heart disease, irregular heartbeats, heart failures, post-alcohol withdrawals. These are some of the uses, and even fatigue and physical overexertions. So they are used in Eastern Europe, and in truth, the performance enhancing capacity of meldonium is still under question. But WADA, which is the World Anti-Doping Agency, banned the substance in January 1st, 2006. Because they classified it as a metabolic modulator. But I ask again, do you know that metformin, one of the most popular drugs and medications for tackling diabetes type 2, is a metabolic modulator? But a lot of people don't know. Do you also know that Viagra, the original use for Viagra, was not erectile dysfunction treatment? Erectile dysfunction treatment was a side effect of Viagra, and it is the greatest discovery in history with regards to men's health. Viagra. But people look at Viagra, anytime you hear the blue pills, boom, sexual stimulation for a man. But in truth, Viagra was never designed for that purpose. It was designed for heart problems, angina, ischemic problems, heart conditions, because of its ability as a vasodilator. It helps to expand and open the veins and capillaries and allow blood flow easily. That same blood flow went and affected the man's power steering, so that at the end of the day, that power steering that was like this, start to, you know what I mean. Now, Viagra is the greatest discovery in men's health. Meldonium originally was also designed for that. And I'm very convinced that WADA still can't pinpoint, or there is no clear clinical study as to its impact in performance enhancement. But they chose to ban it primarily because of misuse. Because they felt people were going to abuse it, not because they found something strong in it. So I don't know how this will pan out, but there are precedents because people have been banned for it. I will give you a list of a few cases that have been a few cases that we have with regards to people who have been banned because of meldonium. Even WADA having banned the substance, there's really very weak clinical proofs of the effectiveness. very weak clinical proof of the effectiveness of this meldonium. So, and they describe, experts have described, like banning caffeine and creatine. When it's just like banning caffeine, say you shouldn't take coffee before any sport. That is the same way meldonium is to these athletes. We know caffeine can be a stimulant, but it's not banned. Caffeine, almost everything we take, cough medication, syrups, and coffee has caffeine. Even your sodas have caffeine, So a lot of energy drinks have caffeine, but it's not banned. So if it's not banned, why are you banning meldonium? And the result and the test, yes, the body tests positive. Because I'm not sure if the B sample has been tested, but I know the A sample tested positive for meldonium in, I think, late November or early December. The Mudryk case started. He tested positive for meldonium following the international game, with Ukraine. While in Ukraine, he was randomly picked for drug testing, because most of these people go to the training camps of the athletes, and provisionally just test them. And at the end of the day, he tested positive. The FA charged him under the anti-doping rules. A B sample is pending, and the thing is that I don't know if Mudryk is not allowing the B sample to be tested, because once the B sample is tested and is negative, you are cleared. But if the B sample tests positive, I don't know. Just like when you receive a red card in a game and you appeal the red card, if the appeal is denied and the red card is upheld, your sentence may be increased. So I don't know if that affects his appeal, why they are holding back. And Chelsea proactively did not allow Mudryk to participate in any of the games. So instead, Mudryk was allowed to just stay out and train alone. So he was never part of the team anymore since December. So he maintains that he never knowingly took any bad substance. And he cited that it could have been a contamination of something he took, maybe a juice or a drink or something. But that is still to be decided. So I want us to understand that the meldonium, I want us to understand that even though meldonium is recognized as a metabolic modulator, there are other medications that are not being banned that are metabolic modulators. They alter by blocking, or they alter by stimulating hormones or receptors, or they boost enzymes. Enzymes are they are more like catalysts that speed up a reaction. They are more like a catalyst, that speed up reaction. So modulators alter enzymes, they alter receptors, they alter hormones, either by boosting or by inhibiting, or by stimulating or by blocking. So that is the reason. So they felt, okay, metabolic modulators like meldonium boosts the hormones to, I don't know how, I don't have any data to ascertain how much of his testosterone levels were increased or was increased by taking the meldonium. Yes, they found meldonium in his system, but how did it induce or improve or enhance his performance? So that could be debated. That is open for a debate. And I am very confident that Mudryk and his team will certainly will certainly, I don't know if they will bring that out in their defense, but it is shocking that even when I decided to look into it, I was like, Why? What is about Meldonium that these people will ban it or would consider it a problem? You understand? Why would they consider it a problem, even though it is in use in a lot of other countries, especially in Eastern Europe and in the former, most of the former most of the former USSR countries still use Meldonium to treat heart conditions, heart failure, and alcohol withdrawal, fatigue and overexertion. So it's something that they use. But the performer effects, they consider it like it enhances blood flow and oxygen to tissues. So Meldonium enhances blood flow to, maybe they assume it enhances blood flow to the heart, it enhances blood flow to the muscles, to stimulate performance, and it aids endurance, and it speed up recovery after exercises or after serious activities like football, after serious sporting activities like football, but unlike sports, but there is still no full proof, in my opinion, from all these documents I have read. There is the clinical proof of the effectiveness of Meldonium as a performance enhancer is very weak and inconclusive, according to what experts, and I mentioned earlier that a lot of experts liken the Meldonium use to caffeine. They liken it to caffeine or creatine, like a normal protein that everybody uses for exercise and stuff, for recovery. So people are like wondering why it's being banned. Right now we are worried as Chelsea. I'm a Chelsea fan. I'm a Chelsea fan. Blue is the color. So we are Chelsea, proper Chelsea. So I'm very worried. I like the player, and I like the fact that he's young and he works hard. And he believes talent is never enough. If you see his tattoo on his neck, talent is never enough. So he believes in hard work. That's why I love Cristiano Ronaldo too. Although Messi fans, please bear with me. Before we continue, I just want to ask you guys, please subscribe to my channel, Chelsea IMO, Chelsea in my opinion. I am Honor, your friend, your brother, your cousin, your partner, your neighbor. Please press that subscribe button, like my videos, chat with me if you want to, send a message if you want to. I will appreciate it, because I am new. I'm not so new, but I just go off and on, but I just felt I needed to share this. So please, I just want you to encourage me, subscribe to my channel, like the video to improve the algorithm that would help my videos to reach out to a wider audience. I will appreciate that, please. I'm begging you. Thank you, guys. So let's continue. So Mudryk is likely to face a 4-year ban. And like I said, I am not of the view that is going to be 4 years. I believe it will be reduced. I believe it will be reduced, because he said he never knowingly took the substance, suggesting that it may have come from a contaminated item that he took, and he, like I told you guys, is using the same lawyers that defended Paul Pogba. And I want to give you an insight. Like, I think the Meldonium before wasn't that popular until I think it was 2016. Maria Sharapova was banned, and she got a sentence reduced, because like I said, that was just when it was banned. So probably they didn't have concrete proof as to, and maybe she wasn't aware too. She may have taken it before it was banned. Remember, it was banned in January 1st, 2016. And Maria Sharapova took her, I don't know when she took it, but sometime it showed in 2016 a test, and she was given a 15-month ban, which was reduced, So, and most of the time, it is often labeled like a placebo. Even though there's a concern by World Athletic Doping Agency. So I just want to point it out that its performance enhancement benefit is not scientifically proven. So can this anti-doping agency really tell us what the problem is with Meldonium? Why are they banning the product? Why are they banning the product? Why are they banning the product? Evidence. I don't know if they have, I'm not sure if they have the evidence for the product, but yet they choose to ban it. And now, not just banning it now, every player who tests positive of Meldonium is likely going to face the maximum charge. 4 years. 4 years is not small. I don't know why Mudryk B sample is not being tested. Because normally, the A sample, once the A sample tests positive, the player will be provisionally banned. But if the B sample comes out negative, it's cancelled. It's cancelled. Either it comes negative or positive. If it comes positive, the B sample, it confirms that the player, this A sample was correct. If the B sample comes negative, it overturns the positive result. There's no C sample. There is no C sample. So if the A sample comes out positive, B sample comes out positive, you're banned. But the player may choose to want to wait for the B sample. The player may choose to not want to wait. If they don't want to wait, then the sanctions will go through. Then I believe they are open to appeal, or whatever they choose to do. Mykhailo Mudryk of Chelsea has been officially charged for violating the anti-doping rules of the sports, according to the FA report. The B sample is still pending. So that is what it is. And remember, like I told you, that the greatest discovery for men's health is Viagra. Viagra was never intended for erectile dysfunction as a drug use. It was never intended for erectile dysfunction. Viagra, it was developed by Pfizer in the late 80s and early 90s, and it was really for angina pectoris, chest pain. It relaxes blood vessels by vasodilating, by dilating, because it's what they call phosphodiesterase type 5, which is PDE5, phosphodiesterase inhibitor, which increases nitric oxide and mediated dilation, and which helps to expand blood vessels. And when blood vessels are expanded, there's no backlog. There's easy access. There's easy flow, and that is one of the issues that went to the penis. That the point that the vessels there. I remember, penis is not a muscle. It's not a tissue. It's laced. It's a highly vascularized tissue. So once blood flow enters there, just like the nipples, the breasts, once there is increased blood flow, it becomes stiff and erect. It's a very highly vascularized tissue. So, and with Viagra as a phosphodiesterase inhibitor, it relaxes, it dilates the blood vessels, and blood flow easily. And that was how men who took Viagra for angina, for heart issues, started to realize that even with their heart problems, they were still pounding, they were still pumping, they were still going non-stop. And probably the women had to testify. I don't know how that happened, but that is the story. So that is why Viagra is the greatest story. It was never intended for erectile dysfunction. So I want to just throw that in. I just want to throw that in. And I want to thank you all for watching. And our hearts go to Mykhailo Mudryk and his family and Chelsea. Once again, I'm encouraging you guys to please subscribe, increase my analytics, like my videos, share my contents. I may not have the best videos for now, but I'm working hard, and I'm sure I'll get there very soon. Till I see you again, this is Honor Chelsea, in my opinion. Peace and God bless.